Good morning, LinkedIn family. It's a thoughtful Thursday today, or I'm sorry, thoughtful Tuesday today. Always get that wrong. I can't think of a better way to start out coffee with Bob out with someone new that I've connected with. Melissa Jones is actually a neighbor from Indiana, where I'm from Chicago, which is very cool. So she's buried in snow like we are. But Melissa's got a really interesting initiative going on when it comes to girl empowerment. And I'll let her tell you a little bit more about that. But Melissa is new to LinkedIn. So I'm going to encourage you all to connect with her, to follow her and engage with her because she has just a simply fantastic message going on. Melissa, thank you so much for joining me on Coffee with Bob. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here and so grateful that you're giving me this platform.
Oh, you're very welcome. I think you have a really important and valid message, especially in today's world.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're working on right now?
Yes. So I founded Girls Positivity Club in 2018. And it really started because I had gone through two of the hardest things in my life. One was my dad was diagnosed with glioblastoma, so a very aggressive brain cancer. And we didn't really know, we had no idea he even had it. And at that same time, I just decided that I was just going to stop taking care of myself and just have fun and not worry about anything. And so then I gained a bunch of weight, and like 50 pounds, and I found that I was less happy. And so I joined this group, this like online group, and I started learning from this mentor not only about taking care of myself, just physically and what I was putting into my body, but also it was really more personal growth. And I started healing myself really from the inside out. And then I had this big epiphany. Why am I not doing this with the girls that I'm teaching? Because being a teacher for 22 years, I have noticed in rural schools, urban, suburban, private, like I've been in all types of school settings. And there's one common theme, and that's that girls struggle with confidence, relationships with friends, with just knowing how to navigate being a girl. And just thinking back about my own childhood, I was like, oh my gosh, I can do something to help. And so I started at lunchtime, fourth graders I was teaching, and I gathered them at lunch, and it was voluntary, and it was really in high demand. They loved it. And I taught them what I was learning, and I just put my own twist on it with, what I thought would connect with the girls. And we did creative activities, and they just ate it up. And so I just kept pouring into them because I saw such a need. And then, problems at recess started decreasing. I saw better friendships forming. I saw girls raising their hands more in class. And since girls struggle with, self-image and confidence and things, it just was really helping. I saw it working. And so from there, I grew it to an after-school program, and then in my district in two different schools. So then I started working not only with the fourth graders, I continued it the following school year and looped with that same group of girls in fifth grade. And then K through 5, I started working district wide on all of this, and it really started taking off. And then from there, I worked with the Boys and Girls Club a little bit, did some volunteering there and started pouring into them. And then COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I thought to myself, I can't stop. This is working and this is helping. So I switched to virtual, and it's been on Zoom ever since. So that's how I do my clubs and groups now.
Awesome. And is this something that's just local right now for you within your district, or are you looking to expand it further?
I am looking to expand. So far, I have most of my girls are from Indiana, but I've had some interest because I've done some spots on TV. I've been on local news, and then I've written some articles for Forbes and for Authority Magazine and Thrive Global, and so that's expanding my reach. And so I would love, my big dream is to go national and worldwide eventually. And I just love helping. And I just think like it's almost like growing up, I think back about my own childhood, and I think, man, if I would have had this and would have known how to do this, I feel like I would have approached things so much differently.
Mm.
Not that you like live in regret of your growing up or anything, because that's, makes it who I am today. But I really think that in a way too, I'm helping my younger self at the same time, like just thinking about those two like meshing together.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. So, so for the folks that are watching now that may or may not have contacts, when you're looking for a contact, I mean, do you want to talk to other teachers? What is it that who are you targeting to speak with?
I'm really targeting parents because what I discovered is, as a teacher, I know the pressures that teachers have in the classroom. And I've always felt really adamant that I wouldn't want to pile more on teachers because I know what that's like. And I know your wife does too, I'm sure. And I really I want to go directly to the families because that's where I feel like I want to support not only the girl, but like on my social media, I just did a live before we got on about a simple self-care bingo that they can
Mhm.
do, like just easy tips that parents can use, and not only for their daughters in like a connection activity, but also for themselves, because a lot of women still have things from childhood where it's like they see their daughters going through the same thing and it can be a really painful thing and they don't know how to help, and just feeling kind of lost with the way that things are right now too.
Mhm.
So I feel like I provide a positive environment because we get together, we do creative things. I teach them a little something about friendship, about confidence, about self-love or whatever it may be. And then they walk away with like, look, mom, I can do this now. Like I had really a lot of fun and I made a self-care bingo and we can do this, and it's like very basic. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated. All they're looking for is little things they can do every day.
Mhm.
And if they have those habits in place, then by the time that they're growing up, they'll know how to handle hard things and they'll have the tools. So to me, my whole philosophy is like, I want this to be proactive so that they can start with me in elementary school or middle school or high school. Like it could be all levels, but like right now, I'm focusing mainly on elementary and middle school girls, but then expanding, to high school and then hopefully college too, to where, because I feel like each one of those are like different issues and
Oh,
themes,
sure.
because friendship is always a thing for girls. And there are common themes that run throughout as a girl gets older.
Mhm.
And so I think it's always relevant to pour into our girls and teach them personal development at a younger age instead of them having to wait until they're 30 like I was and have to backtrack,
Right,
and
right.
like,
Figure it out, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what would be your advice to any younger parents or a parent with a daughter right now that's watching? Just a quick
Yeah,
tidbit that you can give
yeah.
her.
I would say that there are all kinds of different ways you can communicate with your daughter. It doesn't always have to be a really deep conversation. To me, it's those little moments in the car where you're just chatting about nothing and you're really getting kind of some insight into their day or just a movie that they liked or just anything, like those small bits of conversation. And then there's written conversation. Like I even tried this with my son. You get a notebook and you write back and forth to each other every day. And it doesn't have to be like a big thing. So you just get a notebook, you write out, it can be anything like, hey, this is something funny that happened today. And then you have like an agreed upon spot where you keep it. Like for my son, I put it like on his pillow and then he would put it on my nightstand and we would just pass it back and forth. And he was asking me things I never thought. I mean, he was asking me about my workouts and he was asking me about what I thought about this video game he was playing. And so it opened this whole dialogue that's like, there wasn't anything super deep, but it was like, oh my gosh, we're talking about things that I didn't even know we would. And it's
Yeah.
on paper. And then if there would be something hard that she would have to bring up, like she could always write it if she felt like she was unsure how to bring it up. So to me, it's building in those little habits of ways to communicate that can be non-traditional. Like it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be those quick little moments, and it can also be something fun, like passing a journal back and forth. And
Awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
that's really cool. Um, you have to connect with Melissa. You got to follow her. There'll be more information in the comments below on how to get in touch with her and be a part of the program and be a part of the movement. Melissa, thank you so much for being on Coffee with Bob. I really do appreciate it.
thank you. I loved it. It's so
All right.
good.
Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.